what time is it exactly? Should we aim to... Alright, so we're pretty much... Yeah, it's 10:59, we're good to go. Whoa, wow, this is so exciting. Oh, are we there yet? Oh, it's just on the projector or something. Alright, cool. Well, here we are at SMAZ 2019, and we're kicking this thing off with some Spyro the Dragon. Already see some friendly faces in the chat. Welcome, everybody. I am Saboom, and I have with me here
Jeremy Thompson.
Jeremy Thompson. And we're about to try and do this thing. I'm dealing with a slight wound injury on my finger, but we're going to make it happen anyway. So, I'm about to hit start game. You can start the timer when I start moving. It's about 22 seconds. I'll kind of give you an extra heads up. Or rather, I mean, let's just start it from new game. All right, like, who cares? All right, so 3, 2, 1, and go. You just you could start it from movement too. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, rolling. Oh, it's been peaceful.
Yes, which is super easy because all it takes for me is 2 buttons, so I can be like looking right at you and everything. So it's about in like 2 seconds or so, and go. Close enough, yeah. All right, so let's get some hype, everybody. Like, dang, I can't even clap with this finger right now. We're kicking off the marathon. We made it happen. We're all super excited to be here, all 7 of us right now. Yeah, there's going to be more people coming by, but wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, I have not done a run of this in like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months or something. Maybe that's a lie, I'm not sure. But we're going to see how it goes. And we're doing 120%. That's going to be, a lot of people will get confused kind of by the extra 20%. It's just collecting everything to collect in the game. Actually, it's on standard disk speed. I didn't even think of that, but that's all right. Yeah. No, honestly, like, should we reset it? Yeah. All right, yeah. That's fair. Okay, so just kidding. Restart marathon. Yeah, that's probably true, huh? Like real time wise, it's probably going about even. Yeah, that was my bad.
For this category?
The difference for this category?
It's okay. We'll still start at like 11:02.
Yeah, oh, that's fine. Yeah. It's probably about a minute. I'm not sure exactly, to be honest. It might even be more like 45 seconds. It's a little bit less, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think Chris did the same thing at GDQ one time, right?
Yeah, he did, yeah. And we might have even said at that time, we might have said it was more, but we just wanted, I guess we wanted to get the point across that he is at a pretty clear disadvantage. I don't remember what number we threw out there, like a minute or 2 or something. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just going to get right back into it. And this time we got FDS. Woo! All right. And then I will say, of course, I hope... Oh. Is everything good?
Okay, rolling. Oh, it's been peaceful.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will say, of course, I hope everybody who's watching now has noticed the most important... Go! The most important member of the scene here so far.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world. Then
Oh, we got Violin in chat. Speed and Sam. We got a couple people that are... Yeah, you guys are on your way. Cool, cool.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Alright, so yeah. 120%. We collect everything there is to collect, with a slight exception of extra lives, which can kind of be seen as a collectible, but they don't contribute at all to percentage. So we got to get all 14,000 gems. Well, let's say we need to get all 12,000 gems, 80 dragons, and 12 of the stolen dragon eggs. And then upon getting that, you are able to basically unlock the extra 20% in the game and get the last 2,000 gems. So that is how the category ends up going. That's double though. This is going to be a good recovery here. That plane is not a big deal. I did miss a train from the get-go. That's going to be a little bit more of a problem. That doesn't help matters, because if I slow down at all, then the backups kind of get a bit desynced, let's say. But each flight level in the game, there are 4 of them, and they give you 300 gems. So basically go ahead and do those for gems. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, the problem here was I actually forgot how to best back this guy up. There we go. So there's a big difference between missing the first train and the last one. My mind's just all over the place, but that's fine. Okie doke. So we'll see how this ends up going, because now we're going to get into some more like movement-based things where I'm doing flame charges and whatnot. And that's what I found was sort of giving my finger some difficulty with the wound I had mentioned earlier. The flights actually should be like one of the easier parts of the run for me to do right now. But that one went a little bit rough. We're going to continue on our merry little way. We have to, again, we're collecting everything, and it's just world by world in this category in this game. There's no backtracks or anything that you need to acquire something later and then revisit something for. So we got Dark Hollow up. And the way that I tend to play, my hand and my finger movements can be a little dramatic. I think that one thing people look for as, you know, as you get more and more serious about gaming, I think maybe not something that they look for, but an advantage you can sort of use to your advantage is to minimize the movements of your fingers and your hands. Just kind of do what you need to do and not have it be excessive. It's just, I don't know, you can think of it as a kind of a fundamental law of like engineering or something almost. Just do what you need to do and don't do something excessive that is like harder for no payout. So when you move your hands and fingers a lot, it's more strain on your hands and fingers and such, and I think in general it leads it to be a bit harder to do technical inputs and stuff if your fingers are flailing all about. And in this case, with this, I just got stitches out of my finger. So in this case, it's not good for that reason either.
When you say just, you mean like just, yeah? Like yesterday?
Yes, that is correct. When I said I just got them out, it was yesterday morning. It's probably been about 24 hours, so. But, yes. Alright, so that was Dark Hollow. Going on through Stonehill in the works. This one's a little more of a vast kind of open level. There's a lot of stray gems that are pretty far apart. And the route, well, the level design lends a hand to a more possibilities of a route to be had. A lot of the levels in this game have a kind of very straightforward path, as opposed to Spyro 2 and 3, which the level design is often like a big circle with just a lot of stuff in a big circle. This one, it tends to have straighter paths. The routes are a little less flexible or like open to possibility. This one though, this one in the back of my mind, I tend to think about it sometimes, and I think maybe there is something better still to find here. Because there was a major overhaul to the route like a while back, and it saved like 2 seconds. Things are going a little more smoothly now. Wouldn't you say, JT? It's looking a little smoother now. Like I said, I legit, hey, I see Matt in the chat. I see all the homies. Yeah, I don't remember when the last time was that I played this game. So we'll see. An hour and a half is actually a solid time in this category. My PB, which is also the record, is 122 in this game. But as some of you know, I don't usually even like come close to it if I am to do a run. That PB was a product of a lot of grinding in a short span of time. And so consistency to get a mark like that is definitely not something I possess. Let's see. I think was that all of them? Do you reckon?
I think so.
I think so
You know
too.
way better than me on this.
Let's see. Yeah, that was all. Hell yeah. Metaphorical high five. Nice, we did it. Is that the right word? Metaphorical. Pretend. I don't know. Imaginary. Alright, so that is everything in Stonehill, right? Yeah, 200. We end in the well. Team well. I remember for a while another prime sort of top cream of the crop runner of this game, Chris LBC. A lot of you know him. So the three like top dogs of the game for many years were myself, Chris, and Tuval. And at one point we were all kind of actively doing runs, and like Tuval and I were doing the route, like the ending to the route that I just did, where we go into the circular room and then finish in the well. And Chris for a long time persisted in doing the well and then going into the circular room. And they're very similar. I don't know if we ever actually found out like which one's faster, honestly, but I was pretty convinced that the way that I do it is a slight bit better. It might be like half a second or something. So I should probably take a moment to say we are doing this as a charity marathon, and we are raising money for the American Diabetes Association. So just throwing that out there. If you at any point feel like contributing to the cause, you're more than welcome to do so. We have a link in the description. And I don't know, I don't suppose we ever figured out having a donation total on stream, but we're going to do something for that where basically if we have to run it manually, we will. We'll figure it out. I didn't think that was going to work. Did you? It didn't look very good to me. Yeah, I gotta say, overall, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think there was like a slight bit of rust. There was probably a bigger impediment than the wound on my finger, which is good to say. How's Spyro doing, Jeremy? I mean, that Spyro.
Yeah, doing pretty well.
Good. As long as he's chilling.
Has a good seat.
Yeah, best seat in the house. Alright. Dude, we got Nerf in the chat. Shoutouts to Nerf. Fine, awesome individual. Oh no, I might be able to. Oh,
This out of bounds is required because of the route you used in
Yes.
Dark Hollow, yeah?
That is 100% correct. The dragon head is supposed to open once you've completed a level and entered through the return home wind, but we do not use any return homes, so we have to out of bounds into the level.
Is the homeworld route faster independently, so just like additional time save, or is it slower to do the out of bounds, but the time save from Dark Hollow
That's an
makes up for it?
excellent question. And I have a very simple answer. Each one is 2 seconds faster.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember when I found that, I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, it all works out and it's all faster. Oh yeah, I was gonna actually do something. So during the GDQX run, Deo and I did this really funny thing where we decided to do like an alternating word commentary. And we did it in Toasty. And I was going to try to put you on the spot and do that. But do you want to do that during like any level?
I don't know. I don't know if I have any wise words to offer for most levels.
Literally like alternating word though. Like I say one word, you say one word, I say one word.
Yeah.
It just turns out goofy, but it's super funny. I feel like I'm somewhat surprised that people didn't take more note of that. Because like everybody really enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember if we had the chat like visible during that or anything, but felt like people in the room were laughing, and it's something that needs to become like the next meta for commentary. Alright, so that is everything in Artisans. And we visit one of the family of balloonists. It's a different guy every time. This guy's going to take us to Peacekeepers. Oh, what's up, Whip? I see Whip up in there. Yeah, so that's one world down. We have 6 total worlds. Yes. 6 worlds. I should probably explain a little bit about the game because I am just chilling, but some information about the game is also a nice thing. So right now I'm doing a wall glide. You can sort of glide against surfaces such as walls, and in some cases you can gain height in this game, but in most cases you kind of just maintain it, and even maintaining it is difficult. You're still kind of like you fluctuate between maintaining and losing, but it can often help in certain jumps and whatnot. We use it, I don't know how many times, quite a few times in quite a few places throughout the run. This is another flight. Got night flight in the mix. And yeah, these flights are pretty straightforward. Just 4 different collectible items. Collectible used loosely because some of them you just kind of break, others you kind of just move through if it's an arch or whatever. Or we could call it collecting. They're kind of the only IL present in Spyro's individual level, meaning you can track it as its own level. It's got like a game clock right there. So we keep note of times and whatnot. It's fun to do. Let's see. And honestly, I gotta say, I am like super impressed with my autopilot so far, because my active brain is like not present right now. We're going through this game. I'm just allowing everything to remember what to do. Oh no. Oh no. That's okay. So that's a little backup. If you don't make that wall glide, you can usually charge up there. It's actually been like probably years since I legit died trying to get over here. It just didn't really work out. Alright, so yeah, Peacekeepers, we clean up a good amount of the hub early, and then start tearing through all the levels. Going into Dry Canyon. Rico gonna hit the 38. Bend that. Nice. Nice, Matt. So in this level, it's got a cool little thing where that very first thingamajiggo that I collected, which is a fan chest, you flame it 3 times and it blows up. It shoots off a little piece of shrapnel. It's a unique thing about this level, is that piece of shrapnel that flies out. They have like an auto aim sort of effect if there is anything to aim at within its vicinity. So it actually hits one of the enemies up in here, and it's like a speedrun strat, sure, but it's also something you can very easily do on accident. And I'm sure a lot of people like played through this game as a kid, never seeing that enemy because he was just always like dead in your hands. With dragons, we always try to grab them from a particular spot in a 360-degree sort of way. meaning there's a spot on the pedestal. See that pink gem? That was supposed to be a big giant enemy, dude. So yeah, dragons, there's an optimal place to free them from, basically, because Spyro has a set location that he will walk to. And so if I were to free him from like the complete opposite way of where I'm set to walk to, then Spyro would take a lot longer to get to that spot. It does make actually quite a big difference. If you were to compare freeing all 80 dragons optimally versus freeing all 80 dragons completely and utterly the opposite of optimally, it would probably be a difference of like 2 minutes or something. Pretty massive. Evil's here and Cam. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. See that? I got like some height off that dude. Fireworks crates are fun. If you bonk into them, they just explode. They take a bit of damage. Some of them are worth it, others we just flame. More fan chests and all sorts of fun stuff. Oh, dude, the Deo. Where's? Dude, nice Deo emote. Yeah. Alright, so we're going into Clifftown now. Clifftown's an interesting level. There's a lot of tricky jumps to it. Like, terrain-wise, it's pretty challenging. Starting off with going around here, that's not really supposed to be possible. That one's actually super easy though if you understand the mechanics really well and kind of what the aim is there. It's quite lenient. This one, a little trickier. I die there sometimes, not very often. That gem collecting is actually... Anyways, another jump. This one's a little bit tricky, and then this one is another one that's not supposed to be possible, but you can get up there. In this game in general, you're often taking advantage of kind of some mechanics having what I would say to be kind of almost a cooldown effect, or a period of time after doing something like charging, where the act that you were doing, again, it cools down. So basically what I'm trying to say is when you're charging, you're moving really fast, and if you stop charging, some of that momentum is still kind of present. So it's one of those games where you can link together some of the movements and such that you're doing, because they all kind of feed into each other. It's like, oh, thank you. Alright, so yeah, got a bottle of water. This part is pretty interesting. These vultures, I still to this day I have not figured them out, and I've been running this game for like 7 years. It seems to be kind of a timing thing, or like a pattern-based thing, but they'll either all behave or they'll like all misbehave, or well, even then there's some in between. But they can do some pretty kooky things depending on kind of where they're at in that cycle. I don't think I normally do that. Oops. And that's Clifftown. I will say there is almost no RNG in this game. Everything's pretty straightforward. Gems are all in the exact same place, each and every one of them, so there's nothing like that changes. Everything is finely routed, and you know, I know where every gem is and all that. So it's a pretty straightforward game. There's some slight RNG involved in like some very minor things, but and sometimes it could make the difference of like a second or two potentially. It's kind of, if I am to be more specific, it's when gems pop up in the air and they land on the ground, they don't always kind of go into the air and bounce on the ground like in the exact same way. So there can be rare cases where, because first of all, a lot of the gems home in directly to us, but the ones that do pop up and we collect them later or whatever, they could end up in a spot where it might not be conducive to the movement that you were doing. Like it landed a little far and you might not collect it or whatever. So that could cause you to have to sort of jump back for it. Dr. Shemp is a fun one. Each world does have its own like boss. World 1 was Toasty. Peacekeepers, of course, is this guy. And this guy is stronger than Nasty North. He takes 3 flames, Nasty takes 2. Nasty North's honestly kind of a pushover. A lot of the bosses and some of the enemies are stronger than Nasty. Coldstone's hosting us. Thank you for the host, Coldstone. Oh, that reminds me, I need to make sure that I'm hosting us too. So yeah, these are spring chests. Of course, you just kind of flame them, gems pop up, collect them, and it breaks the chest to get the gem. Anything on the mind of JT right now?
Not really.
Anything to say about Ice Cavern?
It's Forward 1's favorite level.
That is a very, very good point. And I forget, does he also, is it just that he likes the level, or does he say that the track is the best soundtrack in the entire
I'm not sure about his opinion of the music, but I think he considers it to be one of the best, if not the best, platforming level in any game.
Oh, so
High regards, definitely.
very high. I like it, I like it.
From the Spyro 1 expert.
Yeah, F1, known Spyro 1 legend. Yeah, I know a lot of people hold this track in very high regards just music-wise. I've heard a lot of people say that Ice Cavern is their favorite tune in the whole game. I always found a bit surprising. I like it, it's cool, but nowhere near my favorite. So that's why we have our own opinions, and we can do that and differentiate. No, I don't want that. Somehow. Okay. I realize that Spark's off duty, yo. Alright, let's get back on track now. I was like 10,000 mistakes on it. I did not expect that guy to be where he was supposed to be, but he was. But with all these time losses and such, I figured he'd just be on some cycle I've never seen in my entire life. Anna's got the Deo emote too, though. Damn. Shoutouts to my boy Deo. Him and I commentated a run from Chris LBC last October at GDQX at TwitchCon. And that was cool. We're already at 29 dragons. Like I said, 80 dragons in the game. 14,000 total gems. 10 dragon eggs, but the dragon eggs are only in the first 3 worlds. So let's talk a little bit more about homing gems. There's several different ways to get things to home. Anything that can be killed with a charge. Well, I'm not going to say anything. But most things that, well, let's say anything that could be killed with a charge without a bonk will, and you know, it gives you a gem, of course, so it'll make the gem homing. So charge something such as a chest is very obvious. You know, a lot of this is kind of, you can just see it happen. This is another case of homing, and if you step inside of a, God, that hurts when I exit the level. The motion my finger makes. Yes, if you step inside of a sort of location of gems spawning, they will home right to you instead of popping up into the air. This is applicable in some instances like that chest I just opened, and sometimes with bosses, spewing out multiple gems. Ooh, that was nice, huh, Jam?
It was nice.
Yeah, very like pleasing to the eye. I like that one. And that is Peacekeepers. Dude, Puppet's here. I love Puppet.
I love Puppet too.
He
Puppet
is
is
the
a good
best,
guy.
dude. He is a great man. Very good guy. Will this be uploaded to YouTube later on? I hope. I don't know. We haven't actually talked about that. You have to understand just how how inexperienced anyone is at running a marathon here. I'm surprised we're here now. I'm surprised it's happening. But no, I'm sure we'll get it up on YouTube. Honestly, there's no way it's not going to be on YouTube. So, if you're looking for it later or whatever, I'm sure I'll be able to have information on that. Well, we'll make it easy enough to find and stuff. Rest assured. Hello, Becky. Skylar. Vixie Ninetails. I'm going to try to swing down to the venue tonight after dinner. What? Nice. SAK. It is open to anybody. There's no registration, nothing. Come on by and chill with us. That'd be cool. Invitation is open to any one of you. Because we're here tomorrow too, so if you need it, if you're somewhere far, take a plane. Come chill with us. I dig it, Rico. Alpine Ridge music. It's a good track. You know? It's again not really one that is in my tops, but it's a memorable one. Stuart Copeland really did a great job of really making them all very catered to the levels and very memorable though. I gotta say, he didn't really mess up a single track. Or mess up is too strong of a word. He didn't do anything less than stellar on like every single level. Incredible. That's not even gonna work. Alright, so I got a lot of cleanup there later. Ideally, I would have gotten every single gem, including that enemy you saw walking around and a few chests to the side. If I had like the optimal cycles, all that would have been cleaned up. But the good news is that the level ends right around there, so it's a nice and easy kind of backup to do if you need to end up leaving a few things behind. It's not a big problem. Pretty rare one for this. And Dust, of course. Hello, Dust. Hello, Tom Pings, Mohair. Oh, that's so cool. And everybody's here, you know? Thank you for being here. I'm so honored.
So as you saw, there are some walls that are non-solid in the game and some objects, just based on whether developers thought they would be accessible or not. In this game, I think less so than in the other two, but obviously useful in this case.
Yes. Glad that you touched on that, because I just do these things and I don't even think to talk about it sometimes. But yes, I just flew through a wall. Indeed. That bonk there saves a bit of time. It is a little bit tricky though. You got to be kind of precise or else you'll go flinging off the edge from the explosion. That is Alpine Ridge. Fingers doing okay. Ish. This is a cool little hub strat here.
Charge jumping during a Thief Flame charge has some sort of like animation canceling purpose, right? A small cutscene.
Yes. Kind of. Honestly, the way I've understood it, like timing wise and just being familiar with the game, I've understood it doesn't actually skip anything. It just sneaks in the jump, you know, in the time you'd otherwise be waiting. So effectively nothing is skipped, it's just that you get that jump in. And then, because there's always like a brief delay when you land after the jump. And it's like pretty much delayed for the same amount of time that it would take anyways. So it's just taking advantage of time you'd otherwise not be able to move. But yeah, there's another one in this level. Or wait, have I been saying the whole time there's 10 eggs? I might have at least mentioned that once. There is 12 total. There's another one. There's a harder one with that flame and the charge jump that I'll be going for here in a little bit. My confidence in getting it right now is at like 5%. So we'll see. Flame charging is not going all so well with the way my finger is right now. Hey, alright, I'll take it. It's kind of like not the most optimal version of it, but everything to save a bit of time. That's all this game is. Everything to save fractions of seconds everywhere. Stuff. Okay, so yes, that is a trick that we call, what do we call it? We have a rated E for everyone name, and then we also have like a PG-13 name. Well, for the sake of it, let's just call it Ferryless, as we do not end up needing the ferry to clear out that part. My route gets the ferry there to clear out this part, and that just ends up, it's actually not the fastest way to do it, but it's like 100 times easier and more consistent than the fastest way, so just what I choose to do. There's another egg thief up here. And I mentioned the shrapnel before in Dry Canyon. So I actually just killed the egg thief with one of the shrapnel from, I think it's the first, yeah, it must be the first fan chest that gets him. So he really never even gets any time on screen or anything, he just dies. So there's a fairly significant thing that was happening there where I tried to hit 2 enemies with that supercharge. I actually only hit one of them. So remind me to go back.
I will.
Alright, cool.
Do you do it before or after the fight?
Before the flight, so right after this level. So Wizard Peak's super cool. This is a level where there's been a lot of advancements over time. Route changes and some strat implementations and stuff. You're supposed to kind of have to run along these paths 2 times, as there's like 2 places that you need to descend to from the outer lining that I was running around up there. But we just go ahead and collect everything up there the first time. And And then if all goes according to plan, that could be something cool.
Nice.
Dude, I can't believe I got that. Sick. Okay, so yeah, that's a wizard proxy. It's like an animation proxy when they do the with their hands. I think only one of my arms is on screen. But if you time it just right, what I did was like a very small jump. For some reason that makes a big difference. You have to get like a very short height jump. And then it's more than just positional and stuff. Like there's something I've noticed that well, it's really hard to explain the details and stuff that like I understand in my mind about it, but just trust me when I say you need a small jump. It's really odd. And then like, yeah, you just do a charge glide, which is another thing I don't even think I've touched on, and it's so fundamental to the speedrunning of this game. It's basically, it goes in line with what I sort of was touching on earlier with mechanics that you can melt together, let's say, to put it poetically. So when you... Whoa, that was weird. Was that a controller thing? I tried to press X like multiple times, and then I noticed that I still was able to... Ah, that is funny. I don't know what I missed. Okay, that was odd, but anyways, moving on. Yeah, so with charge gliding, you can jump, and then at the peak of your jump, instead of performing a glide, you actually sneak in a charge to get that speed, and then immediately do a glide. So it's like kicking off your glide with the maximum amount of momentum that you can achieve in the game regularly. So it starts the glide off really well, and it gives you a bit more height even, and then like certainly some more distance to it. And that
Need the
is
enemy.
Wizard Peak. Thank you. Yeah, I do need the enemy. Indeed. Let's do that. So it ends up costing about 8 seconds or so, because normally I would just turn right here, but I have to go back here and get him, unfortunately. So it's pretty precise to hit them both with the supercharge. You want to make a bet?
I'll say you got it.
Okay, I'll say I did not. Let's shake on it. I don't know what we're shaking on, but we'll figure it out later. Yeah, I don't know. And like, it looked like it to me, but I want to say I didn't get it because looks can be deceiving. Like, it looked like I went far enough, but I just wasn't convinced. Okay, so what we were talking about is there's a dragon skip where you can actually rescue the dragon without going through the animation of rescuing him. I entered the level from the back, and because Spyro like proceeds further into the levels when he enters, he actually goes far enough to make contact with that dragon, and then it like immediately loads the level. Dang it. Okay, so I'm in a really rough spot right now. I need to get all this stuff and then go all the way back here. That's alright. I'll make it fancy. That's not really faster or anything, but I just love to do it.
And at the end of speedways, you're doing animation skips, right?
Mm-hmm. That I am. Do you know enough about him to talk about it a little bit? Because the floor
Maybe. Oh, you got it. You owe me your second best run of this category that I can submit under my own name.
Oh, snap. Okay. Second place on the
don't tell any
leaderboard's coming right up. Yeah.
I think it's that you need to be going into something that has solidity, and if you do it correctly, then you won't have that animation that swoops all the way up.
That is exactly it. Yeah, you're basically just, if you prevent, so at the end of flights, which you'll never see in this run unless I mess up or something, but at the end of flights, Spyro is supposed to glide upward, as Jeremy said, and it takes an additional like 4 or 5 seconds depending, somewhere around there, and he can easily prevent it just by having Spyro set so that when he would start his glide, he would glide into a solid thing, and then that just prevents it from happening completely, and it just ends it, skips the whole animation. I got scared though, because when you were like, "All right, you owe me" or whatever, I thought you were gonna say that Spyro.
No, no, no.
I was about to start crying on stream, dude. Prized possession. We're making it happen. I was a little rough on blowhard. This level is usually not one where time would vary all that much. Like, mistakes are not very common. It's a pretty consistent level. But that was pretty mistake heavy. Alright though. You might maybe get me a time check? Or maybe we could ask somebody else. I don't know. I'm just curious where the time's at right now. Or maybe we could ask the chat. The chat probably sees the time. We actually can't see the time right now. Just curious. If I had to guess, I'm probably at 43:20. What would you guess, JT?
I don't know what's normal. I'll go 43:19.
43.
Just to
I'm at 11:45 now. I know. Is it okay? So it's like a 42 magic. That's actually not that bad at all. The run has felt a little bit rougher than it actually is, so that's good news. I'm definitely like almost 3 minutes behind my actual PB, but okay, that's not bad at all. Cool. So we are here in Beastmakers. This is the 4th world.
And considering that you haven't played in a while and you have something that you're playing through, this is going pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Considering the circumstances and everything, like, I'm definitely pleased with this. Oh, that's uncommon. Okay. This is fine. We're going to be on a bit of a slower cycle, but it's not even really going to be noticeable because I lost enough time to where it's just going to look normal. In fact, I could have lied my way through this and been like, yeah, this is like perfect right now. Yeah, it should still, I would imagine. It's always kind of something I have to gauge. See, the electric floors that they're shocking the floors, those are on a set cycle from the time that you enter the level. So everything, all the movement that I'm doing, oh no. Wait.
Can you do the flip thing off them?
I don't know what exactly my options are right now. Oh, that doesn't even shock them. Oh, didn't
Close,
happen.
almost.
Okay. I don't have any sparks, so I just... Oh, you know what? Dang. Yeah, there were some better backups I could have done, I think, but I just wasn't... Oh, what?
I guess it's good for you.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, man. Like, I should have noticed that that was still solid up there. Is that chicken respawn or anything? I don't know what to do about sparks. I'm not enjoying myself. That's something to do about spark. Okay. That's probably my best move at that point. Sometimes we do death abuse intentionally just to get sparks back in a rough situation. It wasn't really my intent. In fact, I don't usually do it at all. I consider it like admitting defeat. I'd rather just play. I've played like mass amounts of the run, like, well, not like mass amounts, but I've played a solid like 2-minute chunk or something, like without sparks, just because I refuse to death abuse. Whereas in reality, a lot of the time it's just faster, just to die real quick and then you get gold sparks. Wait a minute. I had a really weird brain fart. I thought that was the end of the level. I was about to just leave. That is dangerous. There's a thing that could happen with this where if you free the dragon at a certain time, the floors can stay shocked. That's not a problem if you know what you're doing, but I don't know. I forgot to hold the inputs that you should hold coming out of that level to 100% avoid that from happening. What's your favorite flight, Jeremy?
Night Flight.
Night
You said
flight.
that was your least favorite, right? I think you've mentioned that before.
Maybe just because for personal reasons, like in the sense that I hold resentment against the level because of all the times I've messed it up. Like it's cost me time and so many runs. I get a great artisans or something and then I just like miss a chest 3 times or something in Night Flight. But yours is Night Flight, okay. I'd say mine is, I don't know. That's a tough choice. There's a lot of good ones. I like this one quite a lot, and may very well be Wild Flight. For the sake of arriving at an answer, let's say my favorite is Wild Flight. I can look at that. What about chat?
What about what?
So what about chat? Yeah. What's everybody's favorite flight? Icy Speedway, that's fair. Maybe draw from the whole trilogy. What if the question was changed? Would your answer change?
It certainly wouldn't change for Spyro 3 Speedways. I need to think about Spyro 2 once.
Right.
I don't think it would change for those either. I think Night Flight's just my favorite in the trilogy.
Nice, okay. Yeah, no, Spyro 3 Speedways are
Yeah.
that's not really enjoyable. Would I feature JT in my next hip-hop video? Yeah, I would.
I don't know if I have the lyrical talent to match up against one of the greats.
Well, I know you do. I mean, should we just come outright and tell everybody the big secret that we've been collabing this whole weekend?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Halfway through a video right now.
Yeah, like the mixtapes like coming out Memorial Day. Anyways, I'm forgetting that I got started on homing gems and didn't finish. There's also flame charging, which is very big. Flame charging in and of itself, we kind of use the same word to describe basically the same thing, but 2 different things at the same time. Because we say flame charge just to mean that, well, you're doing flame and then charge, and then we also use it specifically to mean getting a gem to home in to you, such as kind of, well, that when I tried to do that, the one before, the frog before that I did. This guy I'm going to do. Basically, we use it all the time, and it's something that is present in all 3 of the Spyro games. The original trilogy. It's I got it. I wasn't even really going for that one. But yeah, it's basically just anything that you can kill with a flame. Usually, well, anything that you can, well, let's say. So it's more useful for some enemies and such that you could kill with a flame, but cannot kill with a charge. Because if that's the case, then the flame that you would do would just allow their gem to pop up into the air, and that's slow. But it's possible in many, if not, well, no, it's not all, but many cases. There's like one enemy in Dark Hollow where you cannot flame charge it, it's just too large. But yeah, it's basically you're within a certain distance from the target, and then you do the flame and lead into a charge. And I guess what happens is it kind of tricks the game into, it's like the game's like, oh, you're charging, like, and something broke in front of you, well, you get the home in effect. In other cases, you can flame charge things that you could just charge, and it's like more effort, but in some cases it saves a small bit of time just because you can make a sharper turn or something. too bad.
The most common example being the wooden chests that are scattered throughout every level. You can save time on most of them, then it's going to add up throughout the run.
Remind me to get a life.
When?
Very soon. Basically next possible opportunity, because Treetops does have a death abuse.
Okay. What's the closest one? Is it the room up top with all the pillars? It kind of reminds you of like Stonehenge?
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
a good way to describe it. Yeah, I think that's the closest one, but I don't think I'm going to get that one. I think I'll get the one on the very island that I'll be death abusing from.
Okay.
So I just need to make sure I remember to do that. Some of you who maybe have watched a good amount of my runs of this or whatever, I'm sure you've at least once seen me death abuse in this level with 0 lives, and that's not a good thing. We death abuse to respawn at a dragon, but if you game over, then you're put outside of the level. It's not beneficial for the route. Get a life, so
Right here then?
very soon. It's not even going to be this one. It's going to be that next.
Okay.
Ha! Chickens.
And it is advantageous to be low on lives throughout the run, just for the end trick, right?
Mm-hmm. This is true. The game starts you off with 4, I think. And by the end of the run, it is ideal to actually be right on 0 lives. There's one spot where you intend to get a game over, and it helps. It actually saves time. That guy, he's supposed to run a whole path, and you would meet up with him at where you end the level anyways, but you could also kill him early. I've actually been thinking more recently that it might be better to not kill him early, because you could flame charge him later, but at that point you have to just flame him more regularly, and then like you actually end up waiting for them for a good amount of time. But I don't know if like the flame charge on him would sort of line up the same way every time, and you might end up bonking him. And something I haven't really.
That's going to be a problem.
That's game over, yeah. Snaps. Okay, so we're gonna take this into like a very dangerous position where I'm going to try and do a backup that I'm not always good with. Actually, what are we gonna do? I have no idea. I guess we'll just. Something like this, I guess.
Nice job.
Thank you. That's the job, man. That guy I'm not gonna need. I already have his job. Okay. That's everything. Nailed it. Jazzy's here. 5 mon. Dude, what's up? What's up? Welcome. Boss. So Beastmaker's Metalhead. Who's your favorite boss?
Just in this game?
Yeah.
Just in this game? 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 Just I'm gonna say either Toasty or Metalhead.
I like that.
What about you?
Well, if I'm just judging by the boss, I think my answer is pretty firmly Metalhead.
Mm-hmm.
But by the level itself, I love the level Dr. Shem, like for all aspects of it. Just the level design and the music, it's pretty much, yeah, I reckon it's my very favorite track in the whole soundtrack, Dr. Shem. I think I have everything that I need. How do I do this? I cannot not like that. That's not exactly ideal. Whoa, dude.
A lot of lag.
The game could crash. Holy crap, what the hell was that? I've never seen that before. Dude, the game could definitely crash when like cameras hit and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen a crash there before.
Yeah, me neither. But that was weird because additionally it seemed like I was kept in the whirlwind for longer than I should have been. Very strange. I honestly thought I was going to pop out with more height. It didn't seem to be the case. Seriously, you missed that? uh, 317. Good.
Do you know when the cycles for those pillars begin in this level?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. It has... Well, so it sort of begins like when you get close enough / like I don't think it just runs on the whole level timer itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that it starts when you get closer to actually, let's say like the dragon in the level. Right around there, which is right where the boss fight starts, but it also has to do with like how the camera is facing, and you can manipulate differences in like when it starts based on the camera, which is usually only a bad manipulation. Like there's nothing that we need to change about it, so there's no good way to manipulate it. But if you have a certain mistake that involves like getting hit by an enemy in a certain way or something, I've had situations where it really messes with the cycles and it gets ugly. And it's like because I was like, Spyro was facing toward that direction for a longer amount of time. This game is weird with its cycles and enemies, behaviors and stuff. Colin 7 and Ty. Wow. Hey guys.
So to the penultimate homeworld in this game.
Yes, indeed. We're here. We are in Dreamweavers. Thought I had that mushroom. That's okay. Green Sparks is totally fine right here. I have multiple. Oh, nice. I have multiple opportunities to get up to gold, because here in a little bit I do want to be at gold. That little blue get was good right there. This level's pretty unique. It's got fairies with love on you. Just like high caves. It's also got a permanent fire breath, which high caves does not have. So the route of this level is designed around just hooking it to that permanent breath and then just going back through and cleaning it all up. There's a wizard at the top of these steps that's waking up all of these knights. So when I go back around, there's going to be more than simply a sitting piece of armor. Flame charges on these guys are pretty tricky. Man, oh, that's a disappointment. Oh. Hey, Bucci. Thank you. Some birdie now? Huh. I don't think I've seen that one either. But at the end of the day, of course, we always end up collecting everything. Sometimes I have a series of like backups and leaving gems for later and whatnot.
It would be a very large issue if you were to die right now, because you would lose the permanent super flame, right?
Yes. Haunted towers can have pretty much the worst death of the run. Because indeed, if I die, I respawn and I kind of have to go back through and use all the fairies that have a limited duration of their super flame. It's way tougher to clean everything up. Yeah, I thought So I do not want this life because I game overed earlier. So I don't know how many I'm at, but I don't suppose there's any chance I'm gonna hit to 0. Nasty world. So I did turn around for that mushroom. Likely it's not going to make any difference. I'd have to get a really, really hard jump for it to make any difference here. No. You can make it over to that island and it saves a bit of time, but if you die, it's fine. You just revert back to a different route. If I had made it, then it would have been a lot more beneficial to have blue sparks than green at that point. Soul's Dark Passage. That's pretty cool. It's got these tools that do really obnoxious things. This one is more along the lines of the type of level with very few route possibilities. There is a place coming up here that's very circular, and so there could be like some realistic reordering of collecting things. For the most part though, it just leads you on an adventure all of it. Straight path, that is. Enemies are pretty rough in this level. So, green sparks never feels very safe here. Yeah. I'm actually surprised. I don't know what the hell happened there. Unusual. That was excellent. Those mushrooms are not always cooperative. Oh, it looked like he died. I don't think he did. What sort of lofty should I go for, Jeremy? What sort of lofty should I go for?
The supercharged track?
You think so?
I think so.
Alright. I'll do it. I'll go for everything, basically. Snap.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, you think?
It's gonna happen.
I hope. Because this run hasn't had too many cool things happen so far. And I'm like, dang it. Gotta at least have like one shining moment. Just nail lofty. God, that camera. This is my own doing. I see Benza up in here. Okay. There's a bad thing that can occur with that cannon, but I don't even want to talk about it. Didn't happen anyways. So Sparks, this is a pretty alright place to be right now. It's really not that bad. A lot of fodder coming up. Same deal. This is actually the last flight, but pretty much same deal. There is one unique collectible in this one. It's helicopter north. I've yet to see those. Actually, I wonder if like, does each flight introduce something new? Maybe. Yeah, I think each flight has one thing that's unique, basically.
It's boats, lighthouses, helicopter Inox.
Yes. And then airplanes and oh, shoot. Wait a minute. That's in Sunny Flight too. I don't know. I can't think right now. Okay, so it's just important that I get that right now. Actually, I left like the one gem that I'm not really going to be able to get coming out of Lofty. Alright, let's just get a killer Lofty. How cool would that be? I'm going to try to make it happen, man. cycle. I didn't end up getting either of those. Are you kidding me? Did you see that? Like how? I was going to get both of them. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, I thought I was going to die from that. A little slow to start the charge again.
So with damage that forces you into like a backflipping animation, right? If you bonk right before that damage, then you get height in the backflip. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's yes. I think that's it. Basically. It's yeah, very specific circumstances and such. The wall also needs to be a wall that will cooperate in doing that.
Yeah, he tried it as a backup in Terrace Village before.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think in Magic Crafters, the wizards give you that animation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not sure how many enemies in the game otherwise, but at least there's 3 of them.
This is where it gets really tricky. Hey, Stump. Yeah, this is a new world record. 9-finger world record. Alright, so we're gonna kind of just go for everything here, but this is a heck of a supercharge. You know what? I didn't get that guy. Oh, okay. It's like always really hard to save yourself from dying. So it wasn't everything. This wasn't my destination. My destination was that. Destination would have been ideally to get a supercharged like jump, like massive height jump, and land by the spring chest.
You didn't hit the one balloon block, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's possible that I did, just because it's possible that the fan chest got him, but I really don't think that it did. So I'm just gonna play out the level and kind of be eyeballing the gem count, but I don't think that it's gonna. I might even be able to see him coming up. I should have, dang it, I should have just like checked.
Is the only red spring chest in the game?
Yes.
If Mega's here, he knows what to do.
Mega, I'll do it here. Dude, what all am I missing? Oh, okay, he just.
The balloon guy.
Right. I thought he had a 2-gen. I was like certain that he held a 2-gen. Stu, my boy. Dude, I miss you, Stu. Hope we see each other again someday. Alright, so I should be able to get this guy from the ground, so I'm just gonna keep sitting here until I get it. Oh.
How's your finger doing? Hurting?
Whenever I exit levels, dude, I have like this jolt of movements for such a simple thing as just pausing and exiting the level, but my fingers are so dramatic in it. Every time, but that was the worst by far. Oh, I did that wrong anyway. Whatever. Alright, so wow. This for some reason is consistently the part of the run after Lofty, or after sometimes Dark Passage, basically going to Jacques. It's always when it hits me, I'm like, wow, I am here. I kind of didn't even remember getting here. I am so automatic with this game anymore. But we're almost done. This is the last level in the second to last world. I need to remember what in the world I even do with this level. No, I've completely done this wrong. Oh, we'll figure it out.
Thought you were gonna get hit right there.
No. I must have been like a frame away from getting hit. This boss is kind of similar to them all. Do a couple flames, chase him around. "73 dragons, man." Oh, too many more to go. Okay, so turn this all on. There's a different route that's a little more recent that I've been implementing lately, but I kind of forgot how to do it. I haven't forgotten. I know how to do it. Like I could do it right now. I just forgot to do it at the time.
One of the jesters in the level is supposed to lower that, but obviously you can get on top of it without him.
Huh. Oh, another wall glide. I think that jump is like barely possible without a wall glide. So that's it. That's Dreamweavers. There's one more world. Almost. What's the time at, Senior Chat? Thanks, Matt. Dude, One Piece. I already know. 119. Is it actually? Yeah, I guess they're probably telling the truth. I didn't think it had gotten that bad. It's alright though. I don't think I could get under 130, but we'll get close. Maybe. Do you believe JT in the first try credits skip?
I'm gonna say second try.
Okay.
Highly pessimistic on it.
I can respect that. I can respect that. I'm personally gonna say first try. So we'll see. Maybe if I'm right this time, then our bet like evens itself out. Remember for the what else did we bet on the dragon skip?
I'll send you over my 2403.
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's a fair trade. I don't even know what my second best run is. Like a one low/mid 123 or something. This level has a lot going on. But I don't know, I just find like more and more with this game, the game just kind of speaks for itself. Or at least that's my hope, because I don't really speak for the game, I just play it. A lot of it's kind of straightforward, what you see is what you get.
So normally as he rounds this corner, you'd have to hit a metal crate barrel into the iron chest, the metal chest. But because he exploded the enemy's TNT at a specific angle, a specific spot, whatever it is, he was able to explode the crate early.
Shoot, I don't remember the numbers. 239 looks pretty trustworthy.
I actually find it really interesting that in this game the key chest can be destroyed by anything that, like supercharge or any explosive, you know?
That was embarrassing, dude. I don't even care about like the time loss. I care about the loss of dignity on that. Come here. That failed.
Are you going for the squeeze?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I am. So that'd be neat if I got that. I got Wizard Proxy though on Wizard Peak. I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's something that was cool.
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
There you go.
That's pretty uncommon. It like turns you around like that, but we made it work.
So that's called a squeeze proxy, and essentially, if you pressure Spyro's hitbox and allow like an avenue for Spyro to escape in that pressure, or from that pressure, then he'll escape that way with a lot of velocity, and you can get height. Generally, is what you're going to aim for to get from it. And it allows a significant reroute in this area.
Also makes it say never have to touch that bridge.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I forget and raise it anyways. As long as we wrap it up well, this was sick Twilight. Jinx engaged. Oh. I get gold sparks just to be safe. Coming up is a trick that, if you don't mind, Jeremy, I would like us both to explain. Don't worry, it's going to be goofy if you agree to do
Sure.
my
You mean
alternating
alternating?
word thing. It's going to put me in the right amount of like eased frame of mind to hopefully have the best approach to the trick. So
Okay.
let us begin now. This
Is
a
trick
in
nasty?
North
Nasty, rather. The
best
boss,
in
Spyro,
the
dragon,
additionally
you,
need
green.
gems
Okay. As
your
finishing.
touch.
What'd you say?
Touch.
Touch. Oh, as your finishing touch. Okay. At
Your
leisure.
you
Can,
decide
when,
you
would,
normally
collect,
the
gems
that
are
present
in
this.
level.
Furthermore,
Credits,
are
long,
and
you
don't
need
to
watch.
them.
Yeah,
Perfect. We actually
there you go.
we got some sensible stuff out of that. I like it. I don't know why, but that's like the of all the things on planet Earth that make me laugh, that is like a guaranteed way to make me laugh. Oh wow, okay. Back up a slight bit. And then, okay. Yeah, that was a little bit already done.
There you go.
Up top.
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you. Yeah.
Easy every time. Doesn't need to use poverty credits.
Poverty credits. Yeah, isn't that fun? Okay. So that's 100% of the game. And therefore, Nasty's Loot is going to go ahead and open up. That was 12 eggs, 12K, and 80 dragons. So I have 100%. If I were to check the inventory, it would tell me I have 100%. Now we are setting about to get 20 more percent in all of like 2 minutes.
And if I remember, I think Wally mentioned at some point that these gems are actually weighted differently than the rest of the gems in the game to allow it to round out to exactly 20%. So normally a gem will contribute a certain amount of percent, and each gem, like a red gem will contribute like the base value, and blue gem will contribute 5 times that. But the gems in this level contribute a higher percentage than in the rest of the game. I think I said that twice, but both were correct.
Make sure to grab that.
In Spyro 3, though, they apparently didn't care about round numbers, so that one's not similarly divisible by 10, unfortunately.
Anytime. Okay. I tried to scoot a little further ahead because I didn't have to get the rock. Ended up moving too quickly. Oh, that's not really good.
Nice.
Nice indeed. I thought I screwed it up. That looked awful. Didn't work. Favorite little rolls is that one. It's not even all that special, but I just love it. That one.
Time's coming up, by the way.
Oh yeah, time is coming up. And time. Alright, alright.
Spyro the Dragon, you've defeated Ganassi Ganort, collected
Not
the
bad.
Dragon
With
Egg,
the circumstances
saved
the
all
way
the
they were,
dragons, and
again,
recovered
my
every bit of
finger, I
treasure
don't
of the
even want to
Dragon
get it too
Kingdom.
close on
How
camera.
do
It's kind
you
of nasty
feel?
looking.
I feel
And
fired
then
up,
the fact I
boss.
haven't even
And
played
I
this
have
game in a
to
while.
go
I was
back
thinking I
to
could have gone as
work.
bad as like
I
140,
certainly
so,
wouldn't wanna spend the
or
rest of
worse.
my
So
Dragon
that was
Age
pretty good.
butting heads with nasty
Thank you so
Morgans
much,
and
everybody
Weasleys.
who watched that. I really do appreciate
Never
that.
mind. You know what
And
they say.
yeah, oh, I see a
Every
few
good
extra
battle,
people have
you
shown
need
up.
a good
Yeah, yeah.
adversary. And I
Cool,
felt that
cool.
Nasty, in
Well, stay
spite of his
tuned,
misguided
please.
nature, was a
We
worthy
have
opponent.
more Spyro coming right up. But the man sitting right next to me, Jeremy Thompson, will be doing Spyro 3. And then, yeah, we got lots more to come this weekend. Who's here at the moment? It's a good question. I'll type it to you later. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.